could the Yankees actually acquire this player? I mean, when I saw it, I was like, I would be interested. One heck of a bet. But then you get down to the nitty gritty and it's like, I'm not sure if this makes sense for at least one of the teams. But we're going to get into that in just a few moments. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It's free. We're on the road to 25,000. But listen. The folks over at Fireside posted over on X a mock trade. And listen, we could all have fun. I've had a load of fun with mock trades in the past. And this mock trade has the Yankees receiving shortstop C.J. Abrams, who's having a heck of a year. And it has the Nationals receiving Anthony Volpe, Carlos Lagrange, and Jack Siebert. Now, according to Trade Simulator, this deal is a bit lopsided. And don't take Trade Simulator as a matter of fact. I use it to get a general idea. It gives you a good idea of what it would take to get a specific player. But over on their site, you plug in CJ Abrams. His value is almost 81. That's very high. He's having one heck of a season. But Lagrange, 14.8. Anthony Volpe, 6.8. Jack Siebert, 2.1. That comes out to 23.70 trade value. According to this, that won't quite get it done. It's not really a realistic trade. The Nationals would most likely laugh at you and go on their merry way. Now, us as Yankee fans, we love Lagrange. We think he's going to have an impact on this team at some point in 2026. But as a reliever, as a starting pitcher this season, unfortunately, he hasn't been the best. His earned run average in the first 2 innings are very good, but then as the game goes on, not so much. And now Anthony Volpe had an injury, obviously came back. He's hitting pretty good. Bravo to Anthony. Love to see it. He's not CJ Abrams. CJ Abrams is one heck of an offensive player. He's really breaking out this season. He has 3 more years or 2 more years after this season of team control. He's having one heck of a year. He has like a 930 OPS. Let's go bring CJ Abrams' numbers up for you guys. He's got a 294 average, 12 homers, 933 OPS, 165 OPS plus to start the season. I don't care if you're a lefty bat or a righty bat. When you have that kind of production, you're very good. You're one of the top at your position with that kind of production. Now, defensively, CJ Abrams is notoriously not a great defender. His outs above average, -8. Not good, right? It's not good. So at the end of the day, the Yankees are getting a really good bat for quite a few more years of control, but he's not the best defensive shortstop. That's the problem. However, with this trade, Abrams for Lagrange, Volpe, Siebert, I don't even think the Nationals, I think they would laugh at you. Personally, I think that they would laugh at you, say, absolutely not. If Dax Kilby or George Lombard Jr., you don't have to include both. But if one of those guys are not in the deal, Nationals aren't doing it. And then if you don't include a major league starting pitcher, such as, let's say Will Warren. Let's go to the first page here. Let's say Will Warren, right? 46.8 trade value there. And then Dax Kilby, you get very close to CJ Abrams' value. Very close. So are you willing to trade Will Warren, who's been pretty friggin' good this season, Dax Kilby, who's hitting like 350 down there in the minors? Are you willing to move both of these guys for a couple of years of CJ Abrams, but not a great defender? He's breaking out offensively rather this season, so that's good. But the package that it would take now, if you take Kilby off of there, and you put, let's say, George Lombard Jr. in there, it's a little overpay, a smidge overpay, according to this website. But it would get it done. Now, most Yankee fans, including myself, would rather not move on from George Lombard. For CJ Abrams, I wouldn't. Lombard has a good bat. Will he be as good as Abrams? I'm not sure offensively, but defensively, he's very good. So if his bat is close to as good as Abrams' bat this season, because Abrams last season, I believe he had like a 740 OPS. He's generally like a mid 700 OPS guy, CJ Abrams. So he's not a bad offensive player. Right, but just this year, he's been exceptional, 933 OPS. Would I put Georgie in there? I would try not to. But if you were to get Abrams, you would have to put one of your shortstops in there. You would have no choice. Have to. And you'd have to put a pitcher like Will Warren, right? Or maybe Ryan Weathers. I guess you could. I'm not sure. It doesn't get it done according to this. You might have to put in a couple starting pitchers like ERC, formerly known as ERC. You might have to put him in there as well on top of Weathers and Kilby. So it's just what it would take to get Abrams. It would be a lot. I'm not sure if he's necessarily worth it, honestly. He's a left-handed bat, but that doesn't scare me away. I feel like that argument, that's a little silly. Him being a left-handed bat, I think that's a little silly for you to stay away from him because he's one heck of an offensive player. You could have all lefties in your lineup as long as they're all productive. It doesn't matter to me. But then again, that's why I'm not the general manager of the friggin' New York Yankees either. Right? That's why I don't have that job. But let me know what you guys think about all of what I had to say down in the comments. Now, another thing I really want to talk about is Spencer Jones. I know a lot of the Yankee fan base is kind of out on him. And Spencer Jones this season up here at the major league level, 24 at-bats, hitting 167. Right? He did not have a good stint up here. I just feel like the kid is just, this Yankee fan base is just annihilating him for absolutely no reason. There's just no reason to. I think he's going to be a pretty good ball player, right? And who knows? Please don't compare him. Don't compare his stint to Aaron Judge's stint from 2016. That's a little different. That was a September call up. Judge basically stayed on the roster for the rest of the season. Man, it makes me think about that team, the 16 team when A-Rod was forced to retire. Aaron Judge and A-Rod were that close being in the same lineup, and I know A-Rod, he was at the end there. But Judge and A-Rod were like this close being in the same lineup. It would have been cool. It would have been cool just to say that it happened. Right, that's all I'm getting at. I'm not saying, it would have mattered or it wouldn't have mattered. A-Rod was at the end there. Judge was in the very beginning, Really wouldn't have mattered. But it would have been cool to have that in Yankee history. I mean, maybe they did it in spring training that year. Who knows? But it would have been cool to have that there in Yankee history. Aaron Judge and Alex Rodriguez in the same lineup. You let me know what you think about A-Rod. I know we're going a little off here. I know the feeling about A-Rod is kind of split. I'm an A-Rod guy. I like A-Rod a lot. When the Yankees acquired him, I wasn't the biggest fan because, I was what? How old? I think I was 12 when they acquired him. I sat in front of my TV the entire day waiting for that trade to go through. Because my dad called me up first thing in the morning, He goes, Joey, we're about to get Alex Rodriguez. He comes home from work, gives me the newspaper, and there were just a few rumored names. Obviously, Alfonso Soriano being one, Jose Contreras being another that could go back to Texas. And then I had my eye on the TV the entire day. And then when we got A-Rod, the one thing I did not want him to do was to come in here and take away from my guy, Derek Jeter. I didn't care that A-Rod was the better shortstop. I didn't care at all. Derek Jeter is my guy, still is. My favorite player of all time. That's the time I grew up in. I grew up with Jeter as my shortstop. Mariano is my closer. It's like, it's tough to pick between Jeter, Mariano, Posada, Pettit. Bandy Pettit, man, when he left for Houston, completely broke my heart. When Pettit left for Houston. But that was on George Steinbrenner for not offering him a contract. So Andy Pettit moved on, got the deal from Houston. He agreed to a deal. George Steinbrenner said, oh, wait a minute, Andy, I want you back. Andy said no. No, I already agreed with Houston. That was tough, seeing him play for the Astros for those 3 seasons. But then he eventually made his way back in 2007. So I'm happy. I was thrilled when that happened. Because he's probably my favorite starting pitcher of all time. Clemens is up there too. Right, I know Clemens had a shorter stint with the Yankees. But, right, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002, 2000, I guess not a short stint, 2003. Then he signed with Houston in 2004. Basically spent those 3 years with Andy in Houston. Came back in 2007. He signed for like $20-something million for like how many starts? It wasn't a lot of starts. But then he just retired. He was like, all right, I'm done. It wasn't a bad season either. It wasn't a bad season either. It's kind of funny when looking back at it with Roger Clemens and Randy Johnson. There was a point from 99 to 2007 that there was not a year where this goes out so silly. There was not a year where either one of those guys weren't in the rotation. So like 99, 2000, 2001, 2002 to 2003. Did they trade for Johnson in 2004? No, they didn't. So I'm wrong. They traded for Johnson in 2005. So there was a year there. But really quick, here's some fun information for you. Roger Clemens was drafted by the New York Mets in 1981. Went to college. Then obviously was a first-round draft pick by the Boston Red Sox. Interesting fact. Did not anticipate veering off, but I did. Listen, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you later. Take care.